Hello, my name is Lana Gandolfo, and this is my Federalism project on voting rights. I chose this topic because voting is a privilege that everyone needs to prioritize more than people are. It impacts me because I will be turning 18 in January, making it legal for me to vote. It also impacts me because women have not always had the right to vote, and I want to make sure my vote counts. In the United States, to be eligible to vote, you have to be 18 years of age before or on the day of a general election and be a citizen of the United States. However, each state may have individual requirements to vote. There are voting accessibility laws to protect citizens who may need assistance in voting, whether that be due to disabilities or language barriers. The federal government should have the power to make decisions, laws, rules concerning voting rights in order to have a fair and equal voting system for every election. Voting rights that are equal amongst the country allows for fair elections and allows everyone to have the same opportunities and privileges to vote and have a voice in the federal government. The history of voting. The history of voting is a progressive story. In this image, you can see how certain events led to the voting rights of specific groups. For example, African Americans were granted citizenship but not the right to vote, but 2 years later, in the 15th Amendment, they are eligible to vote. In the Constitution, Article 1, Section 4 says the times, places, manners of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof, but the Congress may at any time make laws to alter regulations except at places of choosing senators. The 10th Amendment leaves all powers not delegated to the federal government to the states. For example, we saw that Wyoming in 1890 gave women the right to vote before it was an amendment. The 15th Amendment says that no man shall be denied the right to vote based on race, color, or being previously conditioned under slavery. The 19th Amendment allowed women to vote. The 24th Amendment removed poll taxes, which was limiting the ability for minorities to vote in an election, which is stripping the right. The 26th Amendment lowered the voting age from 21 to 18, allowing more people to vote and participate. It is a reserved power of the state to have its own elections and have specific requirements for voting. But the federal government has its express powers on voting rights, for they made it clear through the amendments that I previously stated that a person of any race, gender, disability can vote if they are over the age of 18 and are a citizen. It is a concurrent power of both the state and federal governments to hold elections that citizens can vote in order to maintain law and order. A positive for the federal government is that every citizen has the same eligibility and opportunity to vote. However, a negative for the opportunity is that every state is different and may need to alter voting requirements. A positive for state governments is that state elections can be open for all those who are eligible and can lead to a more successful state individually. However, a negative is that when times comes for a general election, such as the presidential election, if some states have different rules, the opportunity to have a voice may be limited to some. Now let's look at how the state governments can directly impact voting rights. Some states, such as Florida, are requiring ex-felons to pay all fines and fees before they can vote. Citizens that are fighting back are primarily Republicans, trying to win back their right to vote. However, Governor Ron DeSantis is the only Republican who truly wants to strip ex-felons for the voting rights. Going to office, many people believe that his goal was to undermine the will of Florida voters. Where do we go from here? In order to ensure all people are the right to vote and will not lose a privilege, the federal government should add an amendment to the Constitution or pass a bill that explicitly states that no one should be stripped of their right to vote based on past experiences with the law. And by doing this, this allows more people to participate in voting and allows more people to voice their opinions directly in the federal government, which is federalism's main goal. Thank you.